We will start with the topic of stacks and queue in the second unit for the data structure. So let me explain the classification of linear data structure and non-linear data structure. So in this unit, we deal with the linear data structures and we'll speak about the concept of stacks in detail, stacks and the queues of the topic of linear data structure will be detailedly studying. In this classification, we discuss the data structures of integrated integer, float, character and pointers and subclassifications of compound data structure. We will be dealing with arrays, linked lists and stacks. Linked lists will be dealing with the unit 3 and stacks and queues will be dealing with this second unit. And nonlinear data structures we will be studying in the unit 4 and 5 with the trees and graphs. And now let us discuss what is linear data structure. Linear data structure is an arrangement of items or elements in a linear sequence. So arranged form of data are nothing but linear sequence. So traversing a data and capturing that given items in a linear form in a single way of presenting the data in arranged format is nothing but linear pattern, and the linear data structures is access the data in a continuous form to obtain the correct memory locations of the data. So we need linear data structure as necessary to traverse the elements and access the elements in a sequence. Now we deal with stacks. Stack is nothing but a last in first out. For example, when I have a list of books or list of plates, whatever the items I'm placing on the last items whichever I place, that item will be removed first. For example, I have displayed 10 to 15 books or 10 to 15 plates in a when the last elements whichever I have placed, that elements has be replaced first, will be removed first, that will be said as last in first out. So a stack is called as last in first out or LIFO method. So this last thing whichever we add, that will be pushed out first. There we say it's last in first out. The element whichever placed at the last, it will be pushed first, and the last and pulled element will be called as popped off. Okay, that is really removed first. Then stack is the exact definition of stack is nothing but sequence of items accessing one at one end of a sequence. That's the exact definition of stack. Stack is a sequence of items accessed at one end only in a sequence form. Here you can see the examples of stack. Here the list of books and list of plates is here. From the list of books and list of plates, whatever the plate or whatever the book placed at the topmost, that will be removed first. That's why we say stack is last in first out method. And there are various operations of stacks. So when I say operations, you have push and pop operation. Push is to insert an element into the stack. When I say pop, the removal of element is nothing but pop. So push and pop operation is nothing but insertion and deletion of an element. So in the list of stack of elements in an array, so for the list of in the first entry of an array and the last entry till the last entry of an array, based on the memory allocation of a size, and the elements can be inserted and can be removed. That's why we say operation of stack is push and pop operation. When I say push, we insert an item into the stack. Pop is nothing but delete an item from a stack. So top represents the current location for data in the stack. So here stack of elements. So here whatever the alphabets are inserted inside the stack. So here I have inserted some characters A, B, C like that. So the list of elements whenever I am inserting the items. So the A alphabet the A have been placed at the lowest, then next higher. So based on the elements whichever I am inserting, that element will be the topmost element. So that's why it shows exact current position of the stack. So in this left hand side stack of elements A, B, C, and I'm going to insert an element D, that will be the topmost. When I insert an element E, that will be the topmost. When I want to remove the letter E, that will be popped out. So here we can insert as many number of elements into the stack and delete as many elements into the stack. That is why you can see the stack of elements to perform push and pop operation, and the topmost element indicate the current location of the element whichever placed in the stack. Then here now let us look at the algorithm for insertion or for an insertion operation of push. So insertion is here a set of operations we are using a, top, item and max. So if you are using top is equal to max, I am going to initialize the current position, and I am going to give an assumption that the topmost element will be the maximum element until the top is equal to max. The stack conditions, I'm going to display the list of elements, either top is equal to whatever the elements I'm inserting, that will be top is equal to top plus 1. Incrementation operation has been done in the else part. End if the topmost element is equal to that item until the stack becomes overflow and the top is equal to max position is reached, the same operation is repeated. So this operation of stack shows here whatever the items before in the stack operation, you can also view the stack operation of insertion elements before the operation of stack, and after inserting an element, that whatever the element I am going to insert using the push operation, that element can be placed at the topmost element, and here the top is equal to top plus 1 is the incrementation operation of the elements whichever I am incrementing, that will be displayed as a topmost element in the push operation. When I go for deletion, likewise I am going to say the operation stack is equal to stack underflow, and I am initializing the deletion operation and name that operation as delete, and I am going to say a top comma item, and I'm initializing the top is equal to 0 and print the elements to be stack underflow, and I am saying that item is equal to a of top. So whatever the element I am going to make that an item as a topmost element. Here a deletion operation is performed. So I am going to decrement the operation of top and say that top is equal to top minus 1. So if I want to remove an element from the topmost element, so whatever the element I am removing, that will be removed, and the other remaining elements remains as such. That's why here we say the condition of stack of underflow operation and deletion of operation of pop is performed here, and until this conditions top is equal to 0 and stack remains underflow condition, we can repeat the same process for pop operation in deletion. The diagram also shows here a list of elements, and with the numbers 5, 12, 18, 15 like that. So from the list of elements, whatever based on the current topmost element whichever placed in particular location, so whatever element I am planning to delete, that element when I delete, the place will be remain empty and other remaining elements remains as such. I can remove as many number of elements until the stack's top is equal to 0 and the operations of a stack is decremented until the top is equal to 0 in the deletion operation. Then algorithm on display of stack. So I have displayed the top and initializing a of 5. If top is equal to 0, I am going to make the stack operations to be empty. In that case, I am just going to print the elements and exit from the given criteria. So going to perform the display operation, and I am going to say whether the list of elements from top is equal to 0, that is top to us. I am assigning the I variable and using the for loop and say I is equal to top and top is assigned to be 0. So until the stacks remains empty, the same operation is repeated until all the elements is removed from the current position of the stack. That's what is the display. As many number of elements can be inserted inside the stack and removed in the stack. That's what we see in the previous slides, and here you can see the display the entire list of elements from the stack also is possible. Then applications of stack. Application of stack is nothing but here when I going to use the reversing of a string, if your string is nothing but sequence of characters enclosed in code, Once the characters of the stack, as we insert the elements, the characters can be pushed into the stack and popped into the stack. So when I use push and pop operation, what one in only I can insert or remove the elements. So that is why we say top operations result in reversal of the strings. Then reverse of the string is nothing but reverse read the characters from left to right and make the operation to be pushed. So here this diagram shows the stacks to be named as a reverse, and what are the elements I'm going to insert inside the stack. All the characters one by one I'm going to into the stack, and all the operations of the stack has been pushed. The reverse characters, all the characters is pushed, and what is the last character E, that character shows the current position of the characters whichever is pushed in the list, pushed in the stack. Then in the next we will be discussing about arithmetic expressions. Here the notations, the arithmetic expressions helps you to show two variables and an operations whichever available to perform some expressions. So A and B are the variables, are the operand, and the symbols arithmetic operation plus, minus, into, divide, whatever the variables I'm going to use in this arithmetic expression, that will be the operator. So here in this arithmetic, in the evaluation of arithmetic expression, I am going to use an infix, postfix and prefix expressions. When I say infix, so the here the requirements of infix expressions, all the variables and the variables and in between the operators will be used. So in between the requirements of operators and the operands will be displayed at both ends, that left and right. So infix, the operation will be written in this way. You can see this example, a plus b. When I go for the way of writing the expression in prefix, so the operators will be moved towards front and the remaining operand will be moved towards right. So in this example prefix, the operators move towards front and the variables or the operand move towards right. That is the example you can view there. And the postfix, operands at front, operator towards last. So we are posting the expressions of the operator towards the one end. Likewise, all this arithmetic expressions, we use this infix, postfix and prefix expressions. Next we move on to Q. Q is nothing but whatever the elements we add in the list, and the last element are taken from only from the first element, can be taken as the first element. So when this is the Q concept is similar to first in first out. So when we example we take, when you go for a bank, when we are standing in a queue, the person who stands in the front near the teller counter or to collect the payment of money in the bank, in that case the customer who stands at the first, that person will be moved, will be come out of the queue, and other remaining will remain in the queue and until all the queue elements becomes empty. So the last in first out is the concept of stack, and first in first out is the concept where we take an example as a queue when we stand in a queue of a bank. That's the example for FIFO operation, which is similar to queue operation in data structure. And let us discuss the components of queue. When I say components, we have front end, rear end and maximum queue of elements present inside the stack. When I say the front element, it shows the first position of element in the queue. And when I say rear, that is the indication of last element present in the queue. When I say an element, list of elements or data present in the queue. Maximum queue is maximum number of elements. If I say maximum 10 to 15 elements are present in the queue, the maximum element will be considered as the highest element whichever present in the queue to be as a max. And here in the queue operation, I am going to perform NQ and DQ operation. When I say NQ, I am going to add an element to the queue. When I say DQ, I am going to delete an element from the queue. So deletion is nothing but similar to the operations whichever we are going to remove an element. NQ is going to add the elements in the queue. is the basic operations for queue. So similar, queue is a linear data structure and it follows the principle of first in first out, and here you can see one example or diagram here. List of elements, array positioning, a of 0, a of 1. So index position of the array elements, and here you can see NQ and DQ operations. NQ, you are going to insert the elements from towards right towards left, and DQ is at one end you are going to remove an element. So this is an two pointers, front and rear end, where you can insert and remove an element from the queue. And from the list of elements, using the array operation, you can insert and delete an element in the queue. That's what is the concept behind. And now next coming slides, we'll discuss what are the operations, how to insert an element into an queue and how to delete an element in the queue. Now we'll discuss. And we'll see some algorithm for insertion. If rear is equal to max minus 1, I'm going to say the criteria for Q is overflow condition, and I'm going to the step 4. When I'm going to perform the step 4 condition, before going to step 4, I have to go to the condition where the rear end and front end is to be initialized. So if rear is equal to minus 1 and rear is equal to front is equal to minus 1 and rear is equal to minus 1 in the if case, and I'm going to set some values for rear and front end that is considered to be as 0, and in the else case I'm going to say set rear is equal to, so here I'm just incrementing the operation of the rear end, and set the queue to be rear to be initialized to the num until the number of elements in the queue is being initialized. The same operations of the front end and rear end is repeated until the queue becomes overflow. And examples of this insertion of a queue: from the list of elements a of 0, 1, 2, 3. Likewise, you can have any number, you can insert any number of elements. When there is no elements, I am just initializing rear end and front end to be minus 1 when the stack is empty. When the criteria of the queue for an insertion, when the queue is empty, so front equal to rear minus 1 is the case for empty element, no more elements present in the insertion part. Before inserting an element, the queue criteria will be front and rear end will be minus 1. When I insert an element into the queue and the array position initializing the array element a of 0 to be 10, that indication, the arrow indication of the elements whichever I am inserted, that element is to be moved to the next successing pointer positioning. So I can say front end rear end is equal to 0. Before inserting any element, I am just saying that front end rear end is to be minus 1. When after insertion, when there is each and every movement of location occur in the insertion part of a queue, it automatically takes the value of the front end is equal to 0 and rear end is equal. So it gets the incrementation of insertion of elements present in the queue happens in this examples. And deletion of an algorithm, here when I say deletion, so here the step 1 and step 2 is to be done. When I say the front end, if front is equal to minus 1 and rear end is front end is greater than the rear, so when I say the queue is underflow, and I'm going to set the value for a queue of front, and I'm initializing the front end to be incremented, and front is equal to front plus 1 until the set the values of the queue of front is being initialized when the queue is underflow, is in the underflow criteria. When I go for a deletion in a queue, so whatever the element I'm going to delete, the elements from the list of elements 10, 20, 30 likewise. So whatever I can delete an element at the front and the middle or at the last. So there is a possibility of deleting the queue at any of your end, and automatically the array positioning of the elements and the location, the current locations for the front end and rear end uh, will be changing. So the based on the deletion of your particular queue elements, the array positioning will also be varying in the deletion part. Next we go for various types of queues. Here we have circular queue, priority queue, D queue, and multiple queues are available in the queues. When I Say circular queue is an arrangement of elements in a circular fashion. We can name this as Q0, Q1, Q2 until all the elements of an array, all the elements of a queue are arranged in a circular fashion. So we say it is a circular queue, and the last node is connected to the first node to make a circle. So both the front end and the rear end of the pointer begins and form as an array. So we say circular queue is nothing but ring buffer. When I say circular queue, I can say this as a ring buffer. When circular queue is needed, so we have to say the correct positioning and the memory wastage, whether the memory wastage is to overcome the difficulties of memory wastage. So we go for circular queue. When I use many array locations, many number of elements in the array, and the array positioning of a list of elements been increasing, then the more requirements of memory space is required in the normal queue. When I go for a circular queue, the memory locations has been shared, and reduction of the memory wastage has been reduced, and DQ operations helps you to reduce the memory storage allocations in a standard queue format. So that's why we go for a concept of circular queue. Here in a ring, as I told, the circular queue is nothing but a ring pattern, ring design of a queue, where you can see Q1, Q2, Q3 is a list of elements in a circular fashion, and the indication of Q0, Q1, Q2 from clockwise to anti-clockwise direction, and the front end and rear end is to be initialized to be 0. Front end, rear end of your particular current position of Q0 is to be initialized to be 0. And when I do for circular queue insertion operation, so here the front end and rear end is when I say, when I am assuming using the if loop, if front is equal to 0 and rear end is max minus 1, I am going to perform the operation overloading, that is overload operations when the front end and rear end elements. So in the step when I initialize, if rear is equal to minus 1, then I am going to set the front end of the sequence of elements to be 0, and I am going to perform the true condition if the front end rear end is minus 1. In the else part, if this criteria becomes false, then the rear end is equal to max minus 1 and front is not equal to 0. In this case, when the else part, we have to set the rear end to be initialized to be 0, and set the rear end is equal set the value of the rear end, and we increment the operation of rear until all the values of the queue is obtained, and the same operation is repeated for insertion operation of a circular queue. Next, here this example, when you see Q0, Q1, Q2 from the list of elements, the array positioning of the front end and rear end is also viewable here. So when I begin with the front end, f of q is equal to 0, and the rear end indicates the last positioning of the circular queue of elements. So I say rear is equal to q of 7 based on the location of your front end and the rear end. We can say where the queue is overflow. Either it can be full or the criteria of the queue will be overflow condition. And this example also shows you, if the front end and rear end is equal to minus 1, I am just initializing the value of front end and rear end is to be 0, and whatever the elements I am inserting the exact positioning of the particular element, the rear end and front end values merely changing its current positioning. So whenever as many number of elements in a circular queue I can insert, and the array positioning is also keeps on changing. Then here when whatever the elements I am just inserted, the rear end and front end of the elements whichever I take. So I can have to start from a given position, and I am just saying rear is equal to max minus 1 and front is not equal to 0, and whatever the elements is being inserted inside the circular queue, the based on the number of elements based on the circular link, you can insert the elements at the front, and we initialize the front end is equal to q front end of q is equal to 1 when rear is equal to max minus 1 and front is not equal to 0 in this case. When I'm just incrementing all the positioning, whatever the elements I am just taking the a list of from the list of elements, I'm just saying q of 1, q of 0, the front end and rear end elements has been keeps on incrementing, and here the rear end of the values is equal to rear plus 1, and the operation and the deletion operation is being done here in this particular deletion part. When I'm going to just set the operation of a circular queue in the deletion, I will set if front is equal to minus 1 and perform the queue of underflow operation, and in various steps I'm going to initialize the value and the queue value of your front end, and I'm saying that front is equal to rear end. So wherever the incrementation of the front end and rear end is being initialized, so I am initializing the front end and rear end is to be 1 when the criteria of this if else part, that is else that is in the true condition, if the front is equal to rear, and I am just setting the rear and front is equal to minus 1 in the true condition, and I go for the else part, the criteria becomes false when front is equal to max minus 1, and I'm going to set front is equal to 0. So when the initializing part of the front end is to be assigned and the front end part of the condition is also being checked, and here the incrementation of front each and every element position is keeps on changing when the deletion of element is removed from the queue. And this example also shows you how the list of elements and the array positioning of the front end and rear end is to be empty. When there is a queue is in a circular, when in a circular queue is empty, it also indicates the current positioning of the front end and rear end is assumed to be 1. When automatically in a circular queue, when an element is inserted, you can see the value 5 is inserted in the queue of 0, in the circular queue of 0. You can see that front end is equal to q, front end is equal to rear end is equal to q of 0. So each automatically when I insert in each and every element in the queue, when there is an updation of insertion of element, you can see the current positioning and also the circular movements of the queue elements which were present in the circular queue. Likewise, this example also shows you the last element q of 7. So when I say the first element f is equal to q of 1, and that will be the first element of the q element. When I say 45, the 45 is the last element of the q of 7. So that indicates the rear is equal to q of 7. So likewise, you can insert and you can see the as many number of circular elements present in the circular queue, and the front end element is also been seen with the correct location of that particular element, and rear end also can be seen in a circular fashion where the indication of the first element and the last element is also being seen in the using the if condition, if the front max equal to minus 1 and front end is equal to 0. Then this circular queue also helps you to show the list of elements q of 1, q of 2, q of 3 in a circular fashion, and the number of elements. Here in this example you can see the q of 1 has been the first element, rear is equal to q of 1, the element 45 is being placed, and f of q of 4 that I given the rear element of the particular front end of the queue, that element to be the fourth inside the fourth positioning of an element. So I'm just incrementing each and every positioning of an element, and this indication shows you in a circular fashion where all the elements are placed in the correct position. Until all the elements are placed, the circular motion of a particular location and the values wherever inserting, you can see in a circular fashion. So this circular queue gives a clear idea for how an element is inserted, how an element is deleted, and what are the possibilities of the cases of if case using the front end and rear end of all the elements. Thank you.